going, folks? T-Biz here, and today is October 1st, and I've been tagged by my good buddy Overlord Productions to make a top 5 horror movies of all time for me, personally. And my buddy wmpyr also made a video, which we need to check out, and I will leave a link for that in the description below. And yeah, let's get this started. Number 5 is Silver Bullet, written by Stephen King, screenplay and novel, starring Corey Haim and Gary Busey. This is 1985. Here's a storyline from IMDb. The small town of Tarker's Mills was a place that was very peaceful, where nothing extraordinary ever happened until one night when murders began. The townspeople believe it's some maniacal killer on the loose whom they intend to hunt down. Marty, a young handicapped boy, believes the killer is no man at all, but a werewolf. After a run-in with the werewolf, Marty and his sister Jane hunt all over town for the man who is the werewolf. I suggest checking it out. I thought it was a pretty cool movie as a kid. I thought it was kind of scary too, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I haven't seen it all these years, and plus Gary Busey's pretty cool in this movie too. If you remember from that show, I'm with Busey. That was pretty funny. I think it was on Comedy Central. Number 5 is The Serpent and the Rainbow by Wes Craven, starring Bill Pullman, 1988. We all know Wes Craven from Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Shocker, a lot of really good movies. And let's dip into this one. In 1985, after a successful research in the Amazonas, Dr. Dennis Allen from Harvard is invited by the president of a Boston pharmaceutics industry, Andrew Cassidy, to travel to Haiti to investigate the case of a man named Christophe that died in 1978 and has apparently returned to life. Andrew wants samples of the voodoo drug that was used in Christophe to be tested with the intention of producing a powerful anesthetic. Dr. Allen travels to meet Dr. Mariel Ducamp, that is treating Christophe, and arrives in Haiti in a period of revolution. Soon, Allen is threatened by the chief of the feared Tonton Macuse d'Argent Petraud, who is a torturer and a powerful witch. Allen learns that death is not the end in the beginning of his journey to hell. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a good movie. I suggest checking it out. It definitely kept us up all night. Number 3 is Silence of the Lambs, 1991, starring Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. In my opinion, they haven't made a better movie since, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and dip into this one. FBI trainee Clarice Starling, Jodie Foster, works hard to advance her career while trying to hide or put behind her West Virginia roots, of which some knew would automatically classify her as being backward or white trash. That's not offensive. After graduation, she aspires to work in the agency's behavioral science unit under the leadership of Jack Crawford. While she is still a trainee, Crawford asks her to question Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a psychiatrist imprisoned thus far for 8 years in maximum security isolation for being a serial killer who cannibalized his victims. Clarice is able to figure out the assignment is to pick Lecter's brain to help them solve another serial murder case, that of someone coined by the media as Buffalo Bill, Ted Levine, who has so far killed 5 victims, all located in the eastern U.S., all young women who are slightly overweight, kind of fat, especially around the hips, all who were drowned in natural bodies of water, and all who are pretty much going to be turned into skin suits or dresses. But yeah, pretty gnarly movie, and like I said, to me, it's a big-time classic. And number 2, The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman Carruthers, written by Stephen King, directed by Stanley Kubrick, 1980. Haunted by a persistent writer's block, the aspiring author and recovering alcoholic Jack Torrance drags his wife Wendy and his gifted son Danny up snow-capped Colorado's secluded Overlook Hotel. After taking up a job as an off-season caretaker, as the cavernous hotel shuts down for the season, the manager gives Jack a grand tour, and the facility chef, the aging Mr. Holleran, has a fascinating chat with Danny about a rare psychic gift called The Shining, making sure to warn him about the hotel's abandoned rooms, and in particular, the off-limits room 237. However, instead of overcoming the dismal creative rut, little by little, Jack starts to losing his mind, trapped in an unforgiving environment of seemingly endless snowstorms and a gargantuan silent prison riddled with strange occurrences and eerie visions. Now, The incessant voices inside Jack's head demand sacrifice. Is Jack capable of murder? And yeah, I believe he is before the movie's end. But yeah, this is really a good movie. And once again, another movie I saw as a young kid. That's pretty disturbing to watch such movies at a young age. But yeah, it happened. And another interesting tidbit here is a picture of Scatman Carruthers, and he was also the voice of the Autobot Jazz on the Transformers G1 cartoon back in the day when I was a kid. So that is really awesome. He's also been, I think, was he the voice for Hong Kong Phooey too? I think so. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. And coming in at number 1 at Clockwork Orange, 1971, directed by Stanley Kubrick, based on the Anthony Burgess 1962 novel starring Malcolm McDowell. Protagonist Alex DeLarge is an ultra-violent youth in futuristic Britain. As with all luck, his eventually runs out and he's arrested and convicted of murder and rape. While in prison, Alex learns of an experimental program in which convicts are programmed to detest violence. If he goes through the program, his sentence will be reduced and he will be back on the streets sooner than expected. But Alex's ordeals are far from over once he hits the streets of Britain. Yeah, this is probably, number 1. This is going to be considered number 1. Some people wouldn't consider this a horror movie, but I will throw it in there because it's got some really disturbing and horrific scenes. Once again, thanks for watching, y'all. If you're watching this, consider yourself tagged and leave your favorites in our top 5 in the comments. And once again, I'd like to thank Overlord Productions and wmpyr for letting me be a part of this. And happy October, and y'all take it easy.